From Neural Newscast, I'm Peter Rowan.
And I'm Hannah Whitmore.
President Donald Trump has signed a 14-point memorandum of understanding with Iran at the Palace of Versailles. The agreement, which extends the current ceasefire, was finalized during a post-G7 dinner hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron.
This diplomatic breakthrough follows months of tension and recent missile exchanges between Israel and Iran. The choice of Versailles was intended to highlight long-standing Franco-American ties, as the United States marks the 250th anniversary of its independence.
While the specific details of the 14 points remain under review, the document aims to stabilize energy markets and regional security. President Trump noted the United States will continue to monitor Iranian oil exports as part of its broader strategy.
The summit drew some criticism from the French Parliament over its opulent setting. However, President Macron defended the meeting as a pragmatic necessity, stating that respectful dialogue is required to achieve results with the American administration.
In Eastern Europe, Moscow has been targeted by nearly 200 Ukrainian drones in one of the largest aerial attacks of the war. Russian officials report that 17 people were wounded in the capital region during the strikes.
The Russian Defense Ministry stated that more than 1,000 drones and 4 cruise missiles were intercepted across the country over a 24-hour period. President Volodymyr Zelensky characterized these long-range strikes as a form of sanctions against Russian territory.
In Ireland, the Parliament has voted to remove the mandatory 3-day waiting period for women seeking an abortion. The bill passed the Dáil on Wednesday night with 86 votes in favor and 70 against.
Supporters, including Sinn Féin leader Mary Lou McDonald, argued the waiting period was an unnecessary barrier to health care. The rule was originally a compromise during the 2018 referendum that ended Ireland's constitutional ban on the procedure.
A new study from Pew Research shows a significant shift in how Americans perceive artificial intelligence. While chatbot usage has reached nearly 50% of the population, 63% of respondents believe the technology is moving too fast.
Only 16% of those surveyed expect AI to have a positive impact on society over the next 2 decades. Younger generations report the highest usage rates, but also the most pessimistic outlook on long-term consequences.
The United States Department of Justice has indicted former Cuban leader Raúl Castro for his alleged role in the 1996 downing of 2 civilian aircraft. The charges include conspiracy to kill United States nationals during the attack on the Brothers to the Rescue planes.
The indictment has triggered pro-government rallies in Havana and mixed reactions within the Cuban American community. This legal action arrives as Cuba faces severe infrastructure challenges, including frequent blackouts that have left many without power.
Preparations for the 2026 World Cup are intensifying as national teams begin arriving in North America. The Iranian national team reached Mexico recently amid a visa dispute that will require players to fly in and out of the United States for group stage matches.
In Atlanta, fans celebrated Cape Verde's tournament debut after a surprise draw with Spain. However, some fans from Bosnia-Herzegovina traveling to Toronto have raised concerns over the high cost of tickets and travel for this year's games.
Looking at other international headlines, Peter Magyar and his TISA party have secured a landslide victory in Hungary's elections. This result ends Viktor Orbán's 16-year tenure as prime minister and signals a potential shift in Hungary's relationship with the European Union.
Large crowds gathered outside the parliament in Budapest to celebrate the win. Analysts suggest the change in leadership could have significant implications for European unity and the country's stance on the conflict in Ukraine.
At the Vatican, Pope Leo X IV met with the Harlem Globetrotters this week. The pontiff was seen spinning a basketball on his finger during the exhibition team's visit to Italy.
Finally, we have today's watch list. NASA has revealed the all-male crew for the Artemis 3 mission, currently scheduled for 2027. This mission will test critical systems ahead of a planned return to the lunar surface.
A severe heat wave is settling over Western Europe, with a heat dome bringing temperatures well above average to Paris.
local officials are bracing for record-breaking conditions that could affect public health and G7 security operations.
In the United States, federal officials have charged 4 individuals after discovering an elaborate drug smuggling tunnel between the United States and Mexico. The operation was allegedly used to traffic more than $45 million in cocaine.
World Cup organizers are also monitoring weather forecasts for the opening matches. Challenging conditions expected across several host cities may impact player performance and stadium logistics as the tournament gets underway.
That is the news for today. We thank you for listening.
From Neural Newscast, I'm Peter Rowan.
And I'm Hannah Whitmore. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.